I'm very pleased to have Stephanie Pemberton, CEO of Planting Seeds, and representing the private sector and talking about our new initiatives and also initiatives that the Planting Seeds company is doing to really provide a fillip to innovation for SMEs in Trinidad and Tobago. I've seen this myself, having been in Tobago at the Planting Seeds market and witnessed firsthand a few weeks ago how the Planting Seeds market is really generating interest and buzz on our local SME sector, which is very critical for us, and then providing an outlet for them to be able to export their goods through the online platform. So welcome, Stephanie, handing over to you.
Yes, thank you so much, Regan, and thank you so much for the Intellectual Property Office for including Planting Seeds, including the private sector, including young budding entrepreneurs into this program. Okay, perfect. So I'll talk you through a little bit about Planting Seeds, and then we can go through the relationship that we have with the IPO office and how we plan on disseminating information on intellectual property to the SMEs under our network. So basically, Planting Seeds, this is our motto, this is our genre, like this is our mantra, which is, our dream is to see yours come true. So we are an entrepreneurship development company into developing SMEs. All right, our key milestones. So we basically have done some key milestones over the past few years. We started the company in 2016 in order to be able to help SMEs grow and in order to be able to get them investments from the private sector, which we believe is very important in terms of developing an ecosystem where investment into local businesses is just as important as investing into, an international stock or bond or any other financial instrument. So we started this in 2016. With our TV series, and we had gotten, a lot of the top business people in Trinidad and Tobago to come on and invest in local businesses. Following that, we also have a Masters of Industry events. We've done a few of them. I can get into that in a little bit. We are also a magazine, digital marketplace. We've done developmental workshops, and we also have school tours that we had been doing for the past few years. Obviously, they had some restrictions with certain events that we could not do during the COVID period. So this is a little bit about our TV show. It is on a production set, and these are some of the people. This is on the top left, you'll see one of the school children pitching their business presentations, because we are also very keen on educating the next generation. On the bottom right, you'll see David and Rachel Rennie from Farm and Function. They were able to get $250,000 in grant funding. Well, not grant funding, in an investment from an investor on the television show, and they were able to scale up their business, which was able to now come out with a new product, which is frozen fruits in Trinidad and Tobago, which actually supports local farmers because of the ingredients, and then also provides Trinidadians and people with a local option for local fruits instead of, strawberries and dole and those other frozen fruit sections. We were able to do a lot of import substitution from it. From there, Rachel and David basically, are in nationwide supermarkets. They've been very successful in it. We've been able to help them build and upgrade a whole frozen section in their place, in their warehouse, where they were able to now distribute and mass market that product. So our show is very much about education, and the TV show that's going to be launching this year with the new season, we do plan on integrating a lot of the things that entrepreneurs have learned from intellectual property onto the show in order to reach a nationwide audience, both on national television as well as YouTube. We also have a magazine that we distribute both in print and digitally. Each of these magazines we've had over time, and basically all of them are basically based on featuring entrepreneurs, providing information, providing education. We distribute them to all of the corporations and all of the managers, senior managers around the country for all of the major businesses. So we also go from micro businesses within our network to SMEs within our network to larger institutions and corporations within our network as well. We can keep moving along. We also have done a few series of events. This is what our workshops are normally like. If you look all the way to the far left, we would have them at the Arthur Lockjack School of Business, and we normally full out about 2 rooms of people. Sometimes we've had to put screens into the other room because we have such an active network that is looking for education, that is looking for empowerment and looking for information. So we've run these workshops for the past few years for free for all of these entrepreneurs, and we've been able to leverage all of our networks and connections in the private sector as well as the public sector to come and present to them on different things about running your business and aspects of running your business. So we're accustomed to doing that and educating the network from a physical appearance, and now we are doing that digitally, and I'm going to show you a little bit how we're doing that digitally when we move on with the presentation. But this is just to show that we have been for the 4 years actively working with entrepreneurs in that way. We've also been able to leverage our relationship in the corporate community in order to be able to get billionaire Michael Leachin to come and present to the entrepreneurs in our network to show them how he's built his business, give them great insights, motivation. We also were able to bring down Damon from Shark Tank, which is a similar TV series to Planting Seeds. Shark Tank and the Shark Group has been very supportive of Planting Seeds throughout the process. Damon is actually from Trinidad. A lot of people don't know that, but he is from Trinidad. He is from Diego Martin, and he basically invited us to come to New York and learn how they have taken people from the show and created entrepreneurship ecosystem and educational training programs in order to get them to the next levels. And that's just another picture of some of the school tours that we've done to show how we've been giving back to the next generation in order to be able to create sustainable growth and development within the entrepreneurship division and sector in Trinidad and Tobago. In 2020, we launched our digital marketplace as a direct response to COVID. And basically, the digital marketplace basically became an online platform for markets to for people to buy and sell their goods digitally. Now, we've always done all of the pop-up shops and those kind of things, but I've always been encouraging entrepreneurs to go online for a very long time. In the middle of COVID, we did not wait. I know a lot of people waited to launch and, started saying whether or not this is going to continue or not. We actually saw it from the very beginning as a great opportunity to digitize from the start, which is why smack in the middle of it, we launched this and we were able to integrate entrepreneurs into the usage of technology, which is something that we had been trying to do for quite some time in order for them to expand regionally and internationally through our online ordering platform. So this platform basically was an assistance to the entrepreneur to now be able to get their goods and services out. So basically digitizing SMEs is our main goal, and I will show you a little bit more as we go along. Yeah, you can keep going. Show you a little bit more as we go along about it. Now, we've been able to onboard 300 plus SMEs with very little marketing and work that went into it because we've established such a strong brand over the past 4 years. We also have a waiting list of another 300 SMEs that we are going to be putting onto the site at the end of May. This is just a little bit on how the website sales took off, and I show this to show the potential of online sales. And the reason why I'm showing the potential of online sales is because when we actually sell and are selling these goods for these people, we're seeing the stats that are coming out of it. We see the industries. This is a perfect time for us to come in from a legal perspective and say, listen, you're making this X amount of sales. You really need to be protecting your brand. You need to be protecting your products and your company. You need to have all of your statutory documents in place. So we started the site in May 2020, and we were doing about $9,000 US in sales. By December, we were doing 95,000 US in sales, and since December, we have been able to go a little bit over 95,000 US, and we're now doing about a flat 100,000 in sales every month on the platform for our local vendors. Where we've reached now in terms of Planting Seeds is that, and this is where the ministries and the NEDCOs and the careers and basically all of the other private sector communities can now latch on and join the site. And this is what I'm showing you here is our new site launch, which is coming in May as well, which adds on all of these other ancillary services to the actual platform to be able to merge and connect the entire ecosystem. So where we see Planting Seeds positioned is that you have private sector, you have public sector, and you have SMEs. We are a little bit representation of all, because Planting Seeds is in the business of entrepreneurship development, which kind of falls into public service, but we are a private company and we are privately funded with our own sponsors and that kind of stuff. And then we are also entrepreneurs ourselves and empower entrepreneurs and work with them every day, promote them on our show, integrate them. So we see ourselves as a little bit of a thread that connects all of the different areas, private sector, public sector, and the SME. And we speak from the voice of each of them. So we feel as though we will be a great connector. And that's why we have connected with the IPO office so that they can actually have an application on our site where we can start funneling people through their program. How we're doing this is the site is going to have 4 major facets of it. There's going to be a side of it that is almost like a QuickBooks and accounting. That's also the side that's going to have all of the legal demonstrations as well. So for instance, we collect their sales and we are encouraging them to put all of their expenses in. We've in discussions with Aegis Business Solutions to monitor the inputs into their ledgers so that they can get proper financial statements that are readable, which also feeds into, you know, paying taxes and stuff like that. And within that initiative, we are adding on the legal perspective to make sure that everybody has their statutory documents in place. And we have a goal of seeing the site one day having 100% entrepreneurs on it that all have gone through the IP diagnostic tool, that have all been able to, you know, register the relevant, you know, assert their copyrights, make sure that the intellectual property is dealt with. Now we have obviously the Amazon type side of the site, which is where we bring all of the entrepreneurs into our network. And basically it's, you know, you can order something in New York and a Trinidad product in New York and it comes down here. And it gets exported. We do all of those things. We are already exporting to different countries as well. So that is that model there. And there's also like a Tinder type model where there's going to be a built-in app that does mentorship. So it connects people based on one person might be a business professional and they get connected to an entrepreneur who needs that specific profession. We also are getting into the supply chain management because we realize a lot of entrepreneurs need to bulk buy supply. A lot of them don't have the ability, for instance, to purchase 200 packages to package their product. However, collectively as a team, they will be able to produce it at much lowest cost and benefit from economies of scale, which is why we have been actively onboarding and putting everybody under this one umbrella so that we can connect to all of the different agencies that help these things happen. So that's a little bit about the supply chain management. I guess you guys don't have to know too much about that. That's a project that we're working with. We've been in discussions with Ernst & Young about figuring out how we're going to make sure that we are ordering and bulk ordering and saving them from economies of scale. We already discussed the digitization of the accounting, the mentorship program, and this is in the presentation where we have now collaborated with the IPO office to secure the intellectual property for your business, free IP clinics for vendors on our site. Now, a lot of people might see a free link and they might see this, but in Planting Seeds, we are going to actually have it. We're integrating them to be able to learn. So we've already created a sales funnel, and I have been going through that with the IP office team, and we have now been calling, they have been calling each and every one of those people and making them get through the IP diagnostic tool, and then also being able to assert their copyrights, industrial design, trademarks, those kinds of things. So we've been going through that with them, and by the end of 3 months, I'm very excited to present to the IPO office as well as the public the progression that we have made in relation to where we are now as a percentage of how many people have these things in place into after. We have about, I think we have about 70 people now, between 50 and 70 that are already going through the calling process. That's going to be our batch 1. As soon as those 70 are cleared, I'm going to send in another batch. And that's how we're going to go to make sure that everybody is actually doing this, getting it done, and organizing their trademarks and patents and copyrights. This is a little bit about our organizational structure a little bit. Besides for the drivers, we have this organization structure is a little bit changed. We have about 15 drivers now that are doing nationwide deliveries both in Trinidad and Tobago. And this is basically our mantra of planting seeds. So a lot of people, some people know us as a TV series. A lot of people know us now as a digital marketplace. But really and truly, our goal is to eventually be able to accelerate the SME network, and that's what we've been building towards for a very long time. So this is what our strategy house basically looks like, where we've already spent 4 years and put the time and effort into creating a very strong brand, which creates the network, which is a TV series, a magazine, business working events, and the digital marketplace. So those are the things that entrepreneurs needed in order to receive the education in a fun way, by watching it on national television, by reading it in a magazine, by attending a workshop, and now by accessing the goods and services product sales through digitally. And that's basically where we are. In May, we're going to be finishing off developing the network, where we would have integrated the site upgrades to be able to get their financial and legals in place, as well as the networking and supply chain management. A lot of people try to reach out to SMEs and try to extract value from them without even developing first. In our philosophy, that's like fishing in a pond where, there's only baby fish. You don't want to catch those small fish, and then the ecosystem or the marine ecosystem doesn't get a chance to grow and rejuvenate itself. And we are a firm believer of that, which is why we have spent a lot of time, money, and effort into building our network first before any kind of extraction takes place. And the extraction that takes place is from actual services that are going to get the entrepreneurs more sales. That would be through the subscriptions that they pay through the site, marketing campaigns that Bad Granny Media can do, and also other people who want to, other private contractors who want to do campaigns for SMEs can do, which we've also started incorporating. But more importantly, distribution channeling. So distribution channeling basically would be getting their products on international shelves, getting products on local shelves, as well as regional shelves. And that is basically what the entrepreneurs need. And the distribution channeling can also come in the form of our online platform that, once upgraded, will be marketed internationally. And that's the direction and trajectory that we're going. And then later on, when we've created the network, developed it, there's value being extracted, we would like to continue to broker these investments, to be able to get them private equity investments, to maybe take them to a point where they're going on to the junior stock exchange, even to work with banks and financial institutions, which we are doing now, to show them that they need to take more entrepreneurial risk in terms of lending. In Trinidad and Tobago, you can get a loan for a $300,000 car, but you can't get $30,000 to help start your business. And that's something that we've been fighting for, and we've been working and pushing the banks to do, and all of the different corporations that we've been able to touch base with and influence. So that's basically who we are, that the strategy house shows where we're going. And I like to show it to all of the partners and all of the private and public sectors, the people that want to join us, because we want to be collaboration. We just want to be that glue that kind of holds the whole system together, with each capitalizing on and utilizing the value that each different party was able to provide. For instance, the IPO office now being able to provide all of this great diagnostic tools and all of these kind of things. We are now, connecting them with our entrepreneurs, following up with entrepreneurs to make sure it goes through it. We've been able to do this successfully as well with Careery, where we basically sell all of the Careery products and market the Careery products. I see that Netco is also on the call. That's something that we would like to do, where the assets and the consultants and the people that work for Netco, we can start siphoning and working with them to be able to kind of make this ecosystem work as a unit. And I think it's something that the country has needed in terms of that for a while. So that's really our value proposition there. This is basically our execution timeline, but you can go to the next slide. That's our private funding that we had to raise for it in order to be able to get all of this off the ground, which has been a lot. In 2020, these are just some other things about the company. In 2020, we won the Champions of Business Award by the TT Chamber of Commerce. That really showed, where we were at in terms of digitizing and stuff like that. We also started distribution to nationwide retailers and grocery stores. We have another digital series coming out called Shelved, where we are getting all of the grocery stores to be able to do that, to be able to get these entrepreneurs onto their shelves, and they will be able to have the opportunity to pitch to get onto the shelves. We also found that there was a big need for entrepreneurship development in Tobago. I have been to Tobago and met a lot of entrepreneurs in Tobago themselves, and I found that they actually have great brands. I know somebody mentioned earlier on today that they have nice logos and stuff. The way and the effort that they put on, they actually are able to produce really good quality content. I mean, on average, in comparison to the people in Trinidad, I find the average Tobago brand actually looks really clean and international. I've seen a lot of them, and there's a lot of potential in Tobago, and very rightfully so, it does get left out of the ecosystem a little bit. So we actively went and opened up our office in Tobago. We have Tobago drivers. As you know, we done the Easter Tobago pop-up shop. It was the first time a pop-up actually went over to Tobago and said, hey, what, let's move the pop-up to Tobago instead of having 10 million in Trinidad. Planting Seeds is actually kind of steering away from the pop-ups because they've just been so saturated, and we are going more digital. But we definitely are going to be increasing our footprint of pop-ups in Tobago and doing that more because it is underdeveloped there, and we want to make it a thing, so that it becomes something that people look forward to going to and people start doing more of in Tobago itself. We've onboarded a lot of Tobagonian entrepreneurs, and we also provide them with that ability to get their products in between Trinidad and Tobago at no cost at all. It's free delivery between Trinidad and Tobago. We've intentionally done that to free up the preconceived notion that if you order something from Tobago, it will take forever to get here or it will be very costly. So we did that intentionally to increase the trade and traffic between the two sister isles, and we're very happy to do that, and so far it's been successful. We're just looking for more partners in Tobago to work with us to integrate. We had an offer as well for our Planting Seeds Brazil parent, and I will say this just because it also falls into the line of international trademarks and getting your products and branding. I'm going to have to use the IPO office a lot for this. But before I knew, the IDB had connected me to an investor in Brazil. And apparently, I never knew this before, but Brazil was one of the last countries to abolish slavery. So they have a major problem in that Black entrepreneurs in Brazil have never really been brought to the forefront. They've never really been acknowledged, funded, marketed, and pushed in that way. So when they saw the Planting Seeds brand, they really loved it. They wanted to embody the same exact thing, and they wanted to take it to Brazil to basically empower Black entrepreneurs in Brazil and be able to put that out there. So we're now actually working with them, figuring out how we want to integrate the brand there. The language barrier. Is Planting Seeds now going to be in Portuguese, for the Brazilian market and for that particular demographic? And I think it would be a nice project for us to showcase how we do that with the IPO office as well, and how we protect our IP and trademarks as we go into such negotiations, because that is basically how other entrepreneurs need to look at it as well. We have a collaboration with DHL, which means that we are doing a lot of international deliveries. We prepare all of the airway bills and all of these things for the entrepreneurs. Now, this is even more of a reason why we definitely need to make sure that all of these entrepreneurs have all of their trademarks and their IP rights, because when they start advertising and marketing their products internationally, they're going to get the kind of competition that they're not accustomed to getting in Trinidad. In Trinidad, we're accustomed to, okay, yeah, somebody's copying me today, it's a little bit annoying. But when we export their products, and if their products start picking up really fast, they're going to find people that are really going to come for them in terms of replicating their products, and people that may be able to even do it faster and cheaper. So we need to make sure that when we're exporting, they are all trained, they are all ready, and they are all integrated into the system that the IPO office has. So we are very much invested as a distribution center, as an entrepreneurship development center, in making sure that all of the entrepreneurs go through this process. And by the end of the year, everybody understands that yes, you can run a business without the IPO office, but really and truly, you shouldn't, right? So these are our future plans. October is going to be very, very aggressive. I don't think it's going to be in October. This presentation is just a future plan. I like to try and bring up the dates as much as possible so that we can move fast, because I don't like to move slow. I think Regan and us working together has seen that from the minute we talk. We send out a link, we get the people in, and we move quickly. But our goal is to really make planting seeds into a national ownership. So it's basically like, we're not public sector, but we want the people to own the brand. Our vision for it is a place where you can order a local product, or somebody orders a local product in New York, and it gets them perfectly packaged, perfectly marketed. The website is an international website that everybody looks to, and it's owned by the people. And you are now changing the culture of, and creating a more culture where we support and encourage each other. Because if we're all invested in it, everybody's going to want to see it grow, and everybody's going to benefit from its growth and its profitability. So that's basically where we're going with the brand. That's where the brand, as you see in the mantra from the very beginning, our dream is to see yours come true. And that's basically what this future plan is all about. And yes, this was the Easter pop-up that we did in Tobago. And this, again, was our further integration into Tobago to start developing a better relationship with them and developing a more friendly ecosystem for trade between Trinidad and Tobago, and more resources allocated to Tobago entrepreneurs. And that's basically our contact us. If anybody would like to contact us or work on collaborations, we're very, very happy to do so. We're very agile and quick to do it, and we definitely want to empower anybody in this space that is working with the tenacity and passion that we have for entrepreneurship.